Hi guys, I'm working as an IELTS trainer, so I have decided to make a series of videos on IELTS. In these videos, I will be talking about the four skills: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. This video is all about IELTS. Why you should be giving IELTS, what is IELTS, which IELTS should you be choosing. So let's get started. So what is IELTS first of all? It stands for International English Language Testing System. IELTS test is taken for two main purposes. General IELTS is for those who are moving for residency or job purposes, and academic IELTS is given by all those who are wishing to enroll for higher education in foreign English speaking countries. Now I'll give you two hypothetical situations. There is one lady, Rupa. She wants to move to the UK. So what type of IELTS should she attend? Yes. Now since she wants to move in to UK, so she should take the General IELTS. Now on the other hand, there is a person called Jacob. Jacob and his wife have professional work experience in India, but they want to become permanent residents of Canada. So what type of IELTS should they take? Again, general. Even if they are having a professional experience, but still they want to move for a residency, that is why they are going to take General IELTS. Now, there is a lady. She is currently studying in a higher education school. She would like to pursue her bachelor's or maybe her master's in, for example, Australia. So, what type of IELTS do you think she should take? Yes, so since she is going in for higher education, she should be taking academic IELTS. Now let us come to the structure of the IELTS test. IELTS test four skills of English language, and number one is listening, number two is reading, then you have writing, and finally is your speaking. Now why I have written them in such order, I'll tell you. What happens is, these three, listening, reading, and writing, they happen on one day in a single sitting. Speaking happens either on a different day or at a different time. LRW is taken at one go and speaking is taken separately. There are two ways in which you can opt for the IELTS test. One is the computer-based test and one is the paper-based test. Now, I'll be making a separate video on computer-based and paper-based, discussing the different advantages and disadvantages of both type of tests. Now, I will be taking you through the overall structure of the IELTS test. Talking about listening. Listening consists of four sections. It includes 40 questions, and the time you're supposed to take to solve these 40 questions is either 30 minutes or 40 minutes, depending on the type of test you have opted for. So if it is a computer-based test, it is 30 minutes, or if it is a paper-based test, it is 40 minutes. Reading consists of three sections, and the questions that you have to answer are again 40. The time duration that is given to you to do these 40 questions is 60 minutes or 1 hour. Moving on to writing. In writing, you are given two tasks, writing task 1 and writing task 2. Now, depending on which test have you opted, which training you have opted, general or academic, the writing task 1 differs. The writing task 2 is the same for both general and academic. You have two tasks or two questions at hand. You are given 60 minutes to do both of them. However, it is ideal that you spend 20 minutes on task 1 and 40 minutes on task 2. Now moving on to speaking. Speaking has three sections or three parts. Entire speaking test takes about 11 to 14 minutes. So as you can see, this is the shortest, but this is not really the easiest. The easiest, considered by many people, is listening. Now we'll take a look what is the difference between IELTS Academic and IELTS General. Now, first and foremost thing, if we talk about reading, both the tests are to be done in 60 minutes. In academic reading, You get 3 sections and you get 3 long passages. The text can be descriptive, they can be factual, they can be discursive, they can be analytical, and they include non-verbal materials as well, like diagrams, maps, illustrations, etc. So you get 3 long passages. In general, you get 5 to 6 passages. Section 1 consists of 2 passages, which are short and factual. Section 2 again consists of 2 short work-related passages. Then section 3 contains 1 long passage, and this can be a topic of general interest. In both the tests, the passages or the texts are authentic, and they are usually taken from books, official handbooks, or official documents, or journals, or newspapers. Now moving on to writing. Like I said, the writing task 1 is different. So this task 1 is report writing in academic, wherein the student is expected to summarize, to describe or explain a line graph, a bar graph, a table, a pie chart, a diagram, a flow chart, or a map, and so on. Whereas in general, the candidate is expected to do letter writing. Letter writing is of 3 types. It can be a formal letter, it can be a semi-formal letter, or an informal letter. Apart from these 2 differences, listening, speaking, and writing task 2, they are absolutely the same if you talk about academic and general. Now let us take a broader look at all the 4 modules. I'll start with listening module. So like I said, listening tests last for 30 minutes for computer based and 40 minutes for paper based, and for paper based tests the last 10 minutes the student is expected to transfer the answers from the question paper to the answer sheets. Now the listening task is divided into 4 parts. There are 4 audios that the student is expected to listen, and there are 40 questions in total. It is not mandatory that in one part you will get 10 questions only. You may get 12 to 13 questions or 12 to 14 questions as well. And in one of the parts you may get 8 to 9 questions as well. Each question carry 1 mark, and there is no negative marking. Now it is very important that you take care of the time. Timing is the key, because for each part you'll have the time to look at the questions before recording begins, and you will have the time to check your answers in the end. Though in computer based you will not have that much of a time, because you will have to write the answers while you are listening to the audios, and you will not get much of a time in the end to do a proofreading or to check your answers in the end. So be very sure that how are you writing your answers. Are you writing them in the correct grammar? Are you using correct spellings? And thirdly, are you following the instructions or not? Spelling, grammar, and instructions or word limit. Now, in section 1, you will be hearing 2 people. So it is a dialogue. That can be a conversation between a customer service representative and a customer making an appointment or making a booking of some kind. So you'll have to listen to the information and complete a form or a sentence. So usually form filling type of questions come. It is a social context. Then comes section 2. It is a monologue. And again, it is on a social context. So you may be hearing somebody talking by themselves. So you may be hearing a TV presenter or a radio presenter or somebody describing a map of the city or map of a library or something. Section 3 is again a dialogue, but here there is a shift of focus from social to academic context. You may hear a candid discussion between 2 students and a professor, 2 students talking among themselves regarding an academic paper or an assignment, something academic in nature, and this may have more than 2 people as well, so you have to pay attention to the audio as the voices change. Now moving on to section 4, it is again a monologue and considered to be very difficult, because as we move on from one section to the other, the difficulty level rises. Now here you may hear an academic lecture, a professor or a lecturer talking about his research paper or talking for an extended period of time. Now you will be given a short amount of time approximately 30 seconds before each audio to look over the questions. And yes, you'll hear the recording only once, and the type of questions that you get are form filling, note filling, table completion, labeling a diagram, then sentence completion, short answer type questions, multiple choice question, matching type questions. Now let us take a look at reading. So it is very important in all the sections, in all the 4 modules, that you read the instructions carefully. Not just in reading, but in all the sections. Time of reading test is 1 hour. This includes the time to read the questions and to transfer your answers to the answer sheet as well. There is no extra time. There are 3 sections and a total of 40 questions in all. And the question types are multiple choice questions, short answer type questions, sentence completion, note, table, summary, flowchart, diagram, yes, no, not given, true, false, not given, classification type questions, matching type questions. So matching type can be matching information, matching headings, and matching features. We will take a look at them in detail in individual videos where I'll be only discussing about reading, different types of questions, what are the strategies of different type of questions, and that will be taken care of separately. Now moving on to writing. The writing test is divided into 2 tasks, task 1 and task 2. Task 1, like I said, is either report writing for academic students or lit writing for general students. The minimum word limit that you have to stick to for writing task 1 is 150 words. The time that you should ideally give to this particular task is 20 minutes. Writing task 2, the minimum word limit is 250 words, and the amount of time that you should spend on this particular task is 40 minutes. Now it is very important for you to also note down one more thing, which is the writing task 2 carries 2/3 of the marks. That means it carries more weightage, while your writing task 1 carries 1/3 marks. So it carries less weightage, but that doesn't mean that you will pay less attention to writing task 1. It is comparatively easy than writing task 2. In the videos on writing task 1, I will be discussing in detail what should be the structure, how you should be writing a particular task, be it letter writing, report writing, or essay writing. What are the different types of essays that you get, and we'll be discussing everything in detail. Now, speaking. Speaking test is a face-to-face interview between the examiner and the test taker, or the examinee or a student, and it happens in a room. It is recorded, so you can ask for a remark if you wish to later on. The examiner decides your results. The tests last for 11 to 14 minutes. There are 3 parts in speaking test. Part 1 is where the examiner asks familiar questions about you, and this lasts for 4 to 5 minutes. So the examiner will ask you questions on your schooling, your habits, your hobbies, your favorite subject, your favorite restaurant, your likes, your dislikes, newspapers, clothing, movies, and topics that are related to you. They will be asking a total of 12 questions and based on 3 main themes. So you should ideally give your answers in about 1 to 2 sentences. Don't drag your answers too long. Now, part 2. Part 2 lasts for about 3 to 4 minutes. Now, this is a very peculiar, very different kind of a task. And what happens is, it is a cue card. So you'll be given a cue card and you'll have a minute of preparation time. You'll have to speak on the topic given on the card, and you get 1 minute of preparation time. And so you are also provided a piece of paper and a pen. Make notes while you are preparing for that task. And it is usually a description kind of a task. And you have to speak for 2 minutes at length. It is usually a monologue where only you are speaking. The examiner will only stop you when your 2 minutes get over. Final task, which is your part 3, this is also of 4 to 5 minutes duration, and it consists of 4 to 5 questions. For each answer, you should speak for about 3 to 5 sentences. Now, this is more of an abstract kind of a task where you'll have to develop your ideas and answer the questions asked by the examiner in continuation of part 2. So I hope that you have understood all the 4 modules of IELTS: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. That was all from my end. If you have any question about the overview of IELTS, do let me know in the comments below, and I will be happy to answer your queries. I will be taking up the other parts of IELTS test in my subsequent videos. Stay tuned for more of IELTS update. All the best and happy learning. Bye.